Welcome back to the San Diego Prep Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Morris, joined again by Montell Allen from MBASports and San Diego Friday Night Lights magazine. Montell, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing? How you doing today, Tommy?
Doing good, man. Happy to see you again. We're going to break down the top 10 teams in the county. Last week we did the top 5 in 3 positions, and now we're going to go for the team stuff. So Montell, let's start it off right away. Who's your number 10 team?
My number 10 team is coming from the South Bay. It's going to be Bonita Vista. I think they're absolutely loaded this year. This is one of those teams that come around every once in a lifetime for a program. Again, with those guys on the team like Greg Bell, the transfer over from East Lake. You got Azell Williams, You got Q Harrison that's coming over from the smaller school. It's been an actually phenom in 707 this year. And then you have Posada. I think they're just geared ready to make that move and make that big jump. And I have those guys. Those guys are my top. Those guys are number 10 of my top 10.
Yeah, and I probably could have predicted that last week because I saw a couple of Bonita Vista guys creeping into your honorable mentions last week. So I was kind of getting a hint that maybe you're going to throw them in your top 10. So let's see who number 9 is, Montell.
Absolute number 9 is the studs from Ramona. Those Bulldogs out there. People don't talk about them very much, but at the end of the day, they're always there in the playoffs. They're always there causing havoc. They have a solid defense. Coach Baldwin has coached those guys up to no other. And they got returning their quarterback, Marco Corbin. And that big offensive line. And the defense is headed up by Critchlow and Vasquez on the defensive side. Those two guys are really dynamic on the defensive end. Marco. I'm not sure I pronounce his name. It's Corbian. I keep saying Corbine, but it's Corbian. The kid is phenomenal. He threw for 1,700 yards last year. Just excellent team. I think they're coming back. They're going to make a big rally before the year ends, big time.
Yeah, and Marco, he's a third-year starter now, so he's got a lot of good things going for him. We'll move on to number 8 now, Montell.
Number 8 is San Marcos. Now, San Marcos could have fell anywhere between, I think, number 3 and all the way to where I put him at number 8. I think with McWilliams deciding he's not going to play football this year and actually going to commit to basketball, that hurts him and that puts a lot of stress on Burris. Trexler, he's a great coach. I'm sure he's going to have him ready. But I think, that deep threat and that big-time possession receiver is going to hurt them a little bit. So that drops them out. I think they're going to have a hard time with the bigger boys when they get to the Mission Hills and they get to the Ocean Sides when they play those guys. So I got him down there at 8. But, Trexler, like I said, is a very dynamic coach. Burris is great. Obviously, he's one of the top guys coming out of the county. I want to see how they turn it around. Right now, I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure they'll figure out a way. But I'll slide them down to 8.
All right, they're number 8. And you got to give a shout out to Joe Robinette. We just talked to him. You'll see him in the upcoming episode of San Diego Prep Insider. Kid said, I've never heard this before, he wants to be a combination of J.J. Watt and Tim Tebow. So, that's literally like the two most perfect human beings, I guess, put into one. So,
you can't fault the kid for trying to be one of the combining the two perfect football players. One with the greatest work ethic in the world and one with all that charisma and everything. It's okay. I guess it's all right. But it aims for high goals, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's number 8. We'll move to number 7.
Number 7 is going to be East Lake. And I know they have I think they by far none have the toughest schedule coming out in the county. They play tough teams, but I think East Lake is ready. I think with Traylon Reed, who I'm very high on, the running back, I like him more. The more I watch him, the more I fall in love with him, his style of play. I know he's getting big-time recruited right now. I think, East Lake's kind of been catching a bad eye lately with all those guys transferring out and, the whole thing that happened a couple of years ago. But I think they got the program right and ready, crisp and ready to rock and roll for this year. They're just going to be a phenomenal program. They'll be battle-tested when they get to playoffs, I guarantee it. And that's going to pay off in the long run, I think, for them. So I got those guys at number 7.
All right, we'll jump ahead to number 6, Montell.
Number 6 is Madison. And Madison has, I think, all the right pieces. Also for Madison, congratulations to Robbie Rouse, former alumni, came back to coach for those guys. Congratulations for him as the running back coach. But I also think that Madison's just ready to rock and roll. They have the big offensive line. They have the super sophomore linebacker there that's coming out. They have the 1-2 punch at running backs with Buchanan and the other kid. I'm sorry, slips my name right now. And Coach Jackson is got those guys prepared. My only question mark with Madison is going to be Terrell Carter. Can he mature enough, throw into this role to be able to lead those guys to the promised land? The better he gets every week, I think the better Madison is going to get every week. And I think they'll take a few lumps here and there, but they'll be strong by the end of the year.
Yeah, big shoes to fill there. And before we get to our top 5, we're going to recap your 10 through 6. Number 10 was Bonita Vista, 9 Ramona, 8 San Marcos, 7 Eastlake, number 6 we just talked about in Madison. All right, Montell, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of my top 10 now. So I'll give you my 10 through 5, and we'll hear your reaction before we get to both of our top 5s. Number 10, I have Ramona as well. Marco Polo, love that kid. I think he's a very underrated quarterback. I think he'll do good things for the Bulldogs. Number 9, I have Eastlake. 8, that's where I put Madison. Number 7, this might be shocking a little bit. I got the Christian Patriots. I know. I think they're probably the premier team in Division II, and I don't see them losing a game this year. Number 6, I got the Oceanside Pirates. I think they lose too much to make up for that. So what are your thoughts on that, Montell?
I think once we get past, to be honest with you, with the top 10, 1 and 2 are pretty solidified. After that, or I should say 1, 2, and 3 are solidified. After that, it's anybody's ball game. I really don't mind any of those. I think Oceanside, I really think people are taking a little bit too much away from Oceanside. I think Coach Rodriguez is bringing in the same attitude that Coach Carroll had there, same mentality. And I know they lost Pow, which is devastating, but I think they should be put up just a little bit more. And Christian is not a shock to me. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think they're going to run the table at Division II. They're a strong team. Obviously, Petty's going to lead the way, on that whole run that they're going to run, and the quarterback Nehemiah. I didn't put them. They're one of my guys. They were one of my sleeper guys that creep into the top 10. I just don't know if their schedule gets them into the state. Division II is not as strong as it was the past years before. That's the only reason why I didn't rank them in there. But I think Christian absolutely deserves to be in there.
Yeah, another reason why I like him, they have their leading tackler was a sophomore, Joey Morones, and their leading interception guy was also a sophomore, Ethan Contreras. Now they're both juniors. I mean, they got some good young talent there.
Oh, Christian, no doubt. That program they turned it around 5 years or 6 years ago, and they've never looked back ever since. They were able to take on the big boys, so I'm happy for that program. And again, they're more than deserving to be in my top 10 as well. I just I picked some guys just ahead of those guys.
All right, so now
don't get mad at me, Patriots.
I think we'll be okay, Montell. So now that we both know each other's 6 through 10, let's go to get our 1 through 5. Starting with number 5, who do you have 5th, Montell?
I have Cathedral. I have the Dons. I think Coach Doyle has some key returning players. Arguably the best linebacker in the county with Tyson Moava. They are going to be solid as well as again defensively. They got the kid Wyatt Schmidt coming back, or Wyatt Schmidt, and I think their whole season, I think what's going to be on a big upswing or a big downswing will be on the big junior coming back as Patrick Brown, the big tight end D end. I think if he has an impact year, they're going to go far. If he has those growing pains, they may not go as far, but I still think they're going to be a strong team.
All right, moving on to number 4.
Oceanside. I got Oceanside with Coach Rodriguez. There, I think on the defensive side, they're set. I think Jamie Harris and Palomali are about to have just outstanding years. Jamie Harris is probably one of the most underrated defensive linemen in the county. He's really quick off the ball, defensive end type. He just impressed me big time this summer. And I know Coach Rodriguez is people putting down on him. I don't. I mean, I did a little bit of research on him. In Arizona, he was one of the top coaches out there. He's coming off, a big state win out there, state championship out here. He's coming back home to Oceanside, instill his legacy after Carroll. I'm sure Carroll's not too far away to mentor him. Right. So I think Oceanside is going to be there. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder this year. Everyone knows they're knocked down. They remind me of Helix maybe about 4 or 5 years ago when Helix lost all that talent and people thought they weren't going to be anything. And I think the famous line was their gun never empties, it just reloads. And they came back and they were killing people. I think Oceanside is in that same situation right now.
Yeah, it's weird. Those powerhouses, they always seem to find talent even when you think all their talent's gone. So let's jump ahead to your number 3 team.
Number 3 is Saints, St. Augustine. Coach Sanchez, phenomenal, just great job. People going to say phenomenal. Just an excellent job the guys have been doing over there. Last 3 years, they won a championship last year. They're taking the momentum from last year's championship on CIF, and I think they've even built on it. That offensive line, I think, is even better than it was last year. And I heard they have a phenomenal, excellent quarterback named Rodney Thompson. I haven't had the pleasure of playing. I know he was hurt last year. I've heard he's been doing great things in 707 and running the offense. Obviously they got Preston, Sales returning, Thompson, the DB's returning. They're geared. They're actually geared to make a big noise in state, I believe. I think they're going to be beyond CIF. They have some noise to make them go all the way to state this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you one other thing about them. We've been a bunch of training camps throughout the county while we're filming San Diego Prep Insider. Their conditioning was by far one of the hardest things I've ever seen. If I had to do 5 minutes of that, I think I would have died. These kids, I mean, they were working out there in that field. It was, man, they're definitely going to produce something. All right, so
I think Sanchez has them understanding that, it's almost like state or bust.
Right.
It's like we're going to the state finals or it's a bust. And they believe in it. They believe into the program. They're bleeding that purple and they're ready to go. I mean, I'm excited to see those guys play because they have a unique core of young guys and older guys that are blending together that are really going to take them far for the next couple of years, I believe. So Sanchez, great program, and I'm just excited to see Rodney Thompson. And I also forgot about Sims, the linebacker. I think that all these guys are just due for just having one of those destiny years for them as a program.
All right, so let's go to the top two, I guess, or you can call them 1 and 1A. I don't know. They're both neck and neck. Who are your top two?
I'm going to go 1 and 2. I'm not going to go 1 and 1A.
Okay, all right. So it's definitely number 1. All right.
I can tell you why. I think Mission Hills is my number 2 team.
Okay.
Obviously, Troy Warner, in my opinion, the best athlete player throughout the county. He plays corner, safety, receiver. Troy's already committed to Oregon to play corner. Excellent. He's a great player. Period, bar none. And then they're led by Dakota Miller on the offensive side, and they have Justin T as well. I really truly think that their season's going to go far with Sammy Cook as running back. With Sammy Cook, somebody kept stepping up for a big season as running back. And, just the players they got. The coaching staff is excellent. They are there. But I don't think they're strong enough to overthrow Helix, in my opinion. And Helix is my number 1 team. That's just a segue back into my number 1.
Yeah. Helix
is bar none, number 1, number 3 ranked in the state. They have it all. Speed, power, tenacity. They want to hit. They want to come out there and play physical. They want to finesse. They have a tough schedule as well, especially early on. I know they play another top team that's ranked in the state, and I think in their second or third game from the LA area. I can't, it's slips my mind right now. But Helix is ripe and ready to go with the state bound. And I don't see anything in their way. They have all the pieces that are there for them to do it. I don't want to name all their names. They have a number of Division I athletes on their roster, as we already know. Before Snalon is one of the guys that stand out to me. The big guy on offensive defensive line. I think he's the choir leader of their team. He shows by example. From what I understand from Coach Troy Stark. Coach Stark. He's one of those guys that he's the choir leader of their team. And they got a unique blend of young guys too with Scotty Young. Scotty Young right now as a junior is arguably probably one of the best DBs in the county. I should say arguably he is one of the best DBs in the county. And he's one of the best receivers in the county as well, and he's been that way since last year. He's stepping up, taking a leadership role as well. So Helix is strong. I mean, and I can't see it cracking their armor, to be perfectly honest with you right now. So they're the number 1 team. I see them going state.
All right, there it is. So we'll recap your top 10 real quick, Montell. Number 1, the Helix Highlanders. 2, Mission Hills. 3, Saints. 4, Oceanside. 5, Cathedral. 5, Cathedral. 6, Madison. 7, Eastlake. 8, San Marcos. 9, Ramona. 10, Bonita Vista. So there's Montell Allen's top 10. I'll give you my top 5, and you can let me know how you feel about it. Number 5, I've got St. Augustine. Number 4, San Marcos. 3, Cathedral Catholic. And then I agree with you on the top 2. Mission Hills at number 2 and Helix at number 1.
Perfect.
So there you have it. All right, awesome, Montell. We're excited to see what you guys have in store this year. I mean, what do you have coming up?
On August 22nd, we have the Kickoff Classic at La Jolla Country Day. It starts at 11 o'clock. This will be 4 scrimmage games that we're charging for admissions only a canned good to come watch. This is for us partnering with the San Diego Food Bank in order to give back to those in need. So we're very excited about this program that we started last year, and we're going forth with it. 1 canned good gets you 4 high school games. It's going to be somewhat like a dress rehearsal. They're going to wear the uniforms, referees will be there, the whole nine, just like a real game. But it's actually non-conference, but it will be to give back to the people, the community of San Diego that's in need. Absolutely.
That's awesome. 1 can gets you 4 games. So I'll bring 10 cans and you can get me into 40 games, right, Montell?
Yeah, 10 cans, like I said, get you an interview with anyone out there. You want to come interview anyone, we'll pull them to the side so you make sure you guys do your thing for them. But we really want to make sure these kids understand that, us as a football community, it's important for us to give back.
All right, I'm going to make a Costco run before I go over there, Montell. We'll see you out there.
I'll see you there, Tommy, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.